everybody? Welcome back into another edition of Prime Sports World, and a very happy Tuesday to everyone indeed. I'm, of course, your host, David On Point Huffman, right there. My co-host, Mr. T.J. Hopkins, and from the Daily Blitz.blog, our good friend and brother, Mr. Christian Simpson, on a very exciting day, as not only is it a Tuesday, it was 70 degrees here in Fort Wayne, Indiana, but it's also the first day of the National Basketball Association as we are tipping off the season there, and we're going to be getting into our NBA content, including some season prediction stuff. That's coming on Saturday. You don't want to miss any of that content, so please like, share, and subscribe to the podcast. And gentlemen, happy Tuesday. How is everyone?
Good, and you?
I'm doing all right, man. I'm doing all right. You know, I passed out. Like I must have been really tired last night because I passed out. I didn't even put my phone on the charger or nothing last night. I woke up, my phone had 10% battery life. I'm like, man, this is no good.
Yeah, that normally won't get the job done.
But that's always the best sleep, when you just randomly just zonk out. Usually my sleep score was a 90 on my Fitbit. So let's get right into it without wasting any more time. Let's talk about Monday Night Football and an extra good showing here from the Minnesota Vikings, and I believe they've won 3 games in a row. They win 22-17 over the Brock Purdy-led San Francisco 49ers. Brock Purdy, not one of his better performances of his career. 21 of 30, 272 yards, 1 pick, 1 touchdown, and 2 interceptions. Chris McCaffrey continues to set a record, gets in the end zone twice in this game, 1 on the ground and 1 through the air. George Kittle, leading receiver for the San Francisco 49ers. On the other side, a gem of a game for Kirk Cousins, 35 of 45, 378, 2 touchdowns, and a pick. They also ran the ball for 74 yards combined as a team. And Jordan Addison, a little bit of a coming out party for him, is for sure. 7 for 123 and 2 touchdowns. He has 5 now on the season. That also includes, I think he missed 2 games so far this year. Jordan Addison's been really good as a rookie. Gentlemen, thoughts?
The bully doesn't like to be bullied. And that's what we've seen the last 2 weeks from the San Francisco 49ers. When you punch them in the mouth, they don't recover. We've seen that the last 2 weeks. And man, this is a big game for Kirk Cousins because I know he's been known to struggle on prime time. Yeah, he threw the ball 45 times, and he threw that 1 interception. But other than that, he played a pretty clean game of football. Anytime you thought San Francisco was going to come back, they beat themselves. And yeah, this is one of the bigger upsets of Week 7.
I'm not even. I know the record wise, but I predicted. I don't know if you remember this last week. I predicted Minnesota to win this game. So yeah, but I also lost my lock of the week. So what do I know? But yeah, I think this is one of those games where Kirk Cousins and the Minnesota Vikings they're on must-win mode for at least for the rest of the season. I mean, you lose 6 games. I mean, with the way the Lions are turning out, and the way the NFC is kind of turning out right now, you may fall out of it pretty quick. Yeah, this is one of their best performances, and their defense played really pretty well in this game too. 2 interceptions, and they forced a fumble on Chris McCaffrey. One of them was an excellent play by the defense. The other one was a terrible decision by Brock Purdy.
Addison has 6 touchdowns on the season.
I didn't mean to shortchange him. I apologize, DJ.
I think he's only second to Tyreek Hill in terms of touchdowns. But yeah, this was definitely a coming out party for him.
He didn't miss any time. He's played 7 games. I thought he got injured after game 1 or something. But
yeah, Christian said it. The bullies don't like to be bullied. A hit dog will holler. All that good stuff. Yeah, Brock Purdy the last 2 games has looked human, right? Ever since they asked that question about him being elite, is Brock Purdy elite? Right? Elite quarterbacks don't do this is on paper, even without Deebo Samuel and Trent Williams playing, you're better than the Minnesota Vikings, talent-wise. The only argument that they have is Kirk Cousins is better than Brock Purdy. And at this point, you got folks that would say Purdy's better, right? Because that's just what they do. The interception that Kirk Cousins threw, that was more of a better play by Trevarius Ward than it was
100%.
A blunder on Kirk Cousins. But Jordan Addison had his back because he
ripped it from him later in the game and went for a touchdown.
He stole one back from him. So, yeah, hey, that's how you do that there. Yeah, he was Kirko Chains last night. He earned the chain that Justin Jefferson.
Man, Kirk Cousins, some of the rapid decision making that he's able to do in the pocket is just like he's got players like defenders hounding in his face, and he's still able to complete passes. Like the one where he looked like he was for sure sacked. He escapes out of there somehow and gets a first down. Kirk Cousins is playing. Last couple of seasons, he's been fantastic for the Minnesota Vikings.
Yeah, the hate that Kirk Cousins gets is just even back to his days in Washington. Like the hate he gets is just I just don't get it.
Yeah, and the thing with Kirk Cousins is when he's good, but when he's bad, he really struggles. There's really no in between with him. You never know what you're truly gonna get.
But yeah, so closing up this book chapter on week number 7, let's give out our game balls before we move on to week number 8. And Christian, why don't you go first with your game ball? Who are you giving out your game ball to?
Oh man, I am giving my game ball to that guy in Baltimore, Lamar Jackson.
Ooh.
He is for real. Y'all see what I did there? 21 to 27, 357 yards passing, and 3 touchdowns. When he's in control like this, they're really good. I don't think there's a team that's beating them.
TJ.
Kind of hard to ignore Tyson Bagent, right? Fourth D2 starting quarterback in the last 20 years, and you get your first win. And you play the complete, and you didn't turn the ball over, and you didn't get sacked. Yeah, Tyson Bagent.
I'm giving mine to the guy we just talked about, Kirk Cousins. Exercise some demons, some primetime demons that I think is way overplayed, by the way. 35-45, 378 yards, man. He was just efficient all night, 2 touchdowns, just poised and collected constantly. Kirk Cousins gets my game ball as he's quiets a lot of doubters on him in primetime games. I know they'll still be there, but Kirk Cousins did a good job in week number 7. Moving on from week number 7 to week number 8. It's weird because they had 6 teams on a bye last week. Nobody is on a bye this week, so I don't really understand why the NFL does this on occasion, where they just have no bye weeks in the middle of the season for literally no reason whatsoever. And yet later in the season, we'll have 10 teams on a bye at some point. But we're going to start at Thursday Night Football. We're going to go to Orchard Park, and we're going to talk about the Buffalo Bills welcoming in Baker Mayfield and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Both these teams are coming off taking L's. Buffalo was on the road, and Tampa Bay was at home. For their L. Last time these two teams played was December 12th, 2021. Christian, do you remember who won this game 2 years ago?
Tampa won this game in overtime. I remember Tom Brady throwing a game-winning touchdown pass to Rashard Perriman. He ran a drag route, and he took it up the field. I think the score was 33-27, and I'm not.
Ooh, let's go, man! On the money, on the button with that. 33-27. Yeah, Rashard Perriman, when Izzy kind of thought he would still be a thing.
He really did. You didn't y'all remember how hyped Izzy was when that happened.
Rashard Perriman was a lot. But yeah, how do you see this game shaking out 2 years later?
Well, with Buffalo, who the hell are they? I said this yesterday. I'll say it again. Are they the team we saw dominate the Commanders and dominate the Dolphins? Or are they the team we've seen revert to the type of football they've been playing these last couple of weeks? Didn't look great in London against Jacksonville. Should have lost against the Giants. And they looked terrible against New England. I mean, they gift wrapped it. They gift wrapped them that game. Buffalo has to get back to establishing James Cook. I think this is the game that they do it. I trust Josh Allen more than I trust Baker Mayfield. I like Buffalo.
Yeah, I'm also going to take the Buffalo Bills. I think they've done a good job at bouncing back off of losses and kind of improving what the stuff they need to do. This cannot be the Josh Allen show for the rest of the season. He will get burnt out and worn out. We've already seen it in the 2 seasons prior where Josh Allen, he physically cannot carry this team the entire season. They need to take some of the load off of him. Look for them to utilize their running game. Look for them to utilize maybe some play action stuff. But give me Buffalo.
I expect these 2 teams to be doing some business with each other come trade deadline. Give me Buffalo.
Moving on from Thursday night football, we got Sunday afternoon football, and the first game on the docket is the Los Angeles Rams going into Jerry World, taking on the Dallas Cowboys. The Rams, obviously, they lost. I can't remember who even played, but I know they lost to the Pittsburgh Steelers there on Sunday. The Dallas Cowboys coming off the bye week. They did beat the Chargers before that bye week. Last time these two teams played was last season, almost to the day, actually. And the Dallas Cowboys won that game 22-10. TJ, how do you think this game shakes out?
This is Dallas and Pittsburgh.
The Rams, the Los Angeles Rams.
This screams Rams, don't it, Christian? Like, this seems like a game that the Cowboys gonna come out flat.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Cooper Kupp is back, so you already know who Stephon Gilmore is guarding. This legit screams like the Rams, like the Cowboys gonna get ate up by Puka Nacua, and he gonna go for like 8 for 130 and a touchdown. I'm gonna take the Rams.
Yeah, to TJ's point, the Cowboys can kind of overlook the Rams because they have a huge game next week. They go to Philadelphia.
Yep,
I think it's the best rivalry in the National Football League right now. But between these two, I trust Dallas's defense more than I trust the Rams' defense. I think they're gonna get after. I think they're gonna get after Matthew Stafford. I like Dallas, but I think the Rams make it interesting.
I agree with you. The Cowboys. This is in Jerry World. I also agree with you. I think the Dallas Cowboys have too much in the pass rushing department for this offensive line for the Los Angeles Rams, especially since Kyron Williams is on the IR. So that running back position is kind of going to be in flux there. Royce Freeman gave them some nice stuff, but you can't lie on him, I don't think. Give me the Dallas Cowboys.
Mm-hmm.
Moving on from this game, staying in the NFC, but swinging into the black and blue division, the NFC North. We got the 3-4 Minnesota Vikings going into Lambeau, taking on the 2-4 Green Bay Packers. Minnesota obviously coming off that victory against the San Francisco 49ers, and Green Bay falling to the Denver Broncos on Sunday. But how do you see this game shaking out? TJ, go ahead.
I think the Vikings get to 500. They won 4 in a row, man. Outside of that, like Green Bay, the way they've been playing, it's nothing gives me hope for them to win these games. Like, if they get off to 2 slower starts. Like, the game against Denver is a perfect example. Like, they got off to such a slow start that by the time they needed to make a move and do something, it was too late. And Jordan Love throws a game-stealing interception.
I mean, that's been 2 weeks in a row where that's been the same narrative, basically.
But not
before their bye and after their bye. But
not just that, but like look at the game against the Saints. The only difference is they won that game.
Yeah. And
they probably shouldn't have. But yeah, you get down 17-0 to the Saints, you come back, you win. Like, it's just too slow. The starts are too slow for Green Bay for whatever reason.
I also think this defense is getting exposed a little bit. I mean, they haven't played particularly well the last couple of weeks, especially in the running game. I know Minnesota's not a juggernaut on the running game, obviously, by no stretch of the imagination. But I do think that Cam Akers is going to continue to get more and more involved in this running game, and look for him to be potentially at some point this season the lead back there in Minnesota and even jump over Alexander Mattison. I'm taking Minnesota. I don't think it'll be close.
Yeah, I'm with you guys. I'm taking Minnesota as well. I have much more faith in Kirk Cousins than I do Jordan Love at this point. Like TJ said, Minnesota gets back to 500, baby.
To this game, we got a battle in the NFC South for the AFC South. We got the 4-3 Atlanta Falcons, fresh off beating the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, going into Tennessee and taking on the Titans, who are currently in the middle of a fire sale. They just traded away Kevin Bynard, arguably one of the best safeties in the NFL, to the Philadelphia Eagles. They also traded away a starting linebacker to the Philadelphia Eagles. So I think the writing is on the wall when it comes to Tennessee Titans and what their direction is going to be for the rest of this season. They're 2-4 coming off their bye. Christian, how do you see this game shaking out? Falcons, Titans.
Look, if anyone is great at playing consistently sloppy football, it's the Tennessee Titans. I don't trust the Atlanta Falcons. I don't trust Desmond Ridder. If anybody between these two quarterbacks can make a throw when it matters most, it's Ryan Tannehill. And I can't believe I'm saying that. I'm going to take the Titans here in a very low-scoring and physical game.
I don't even know. Is Ryan Tannehill even playing?
I don't want to see Ryan Tannehill no more, bro.
Ryan Tannehill is luckily done for the year. Oh, that's last year. I Hold on. I'm gonna have to Google this right quick. So just give me just a second. I don't think it matters. Like
He got hurt
why?
in that game against Baltimore. Did he
Baltimore.
not?
Yeah.
I haven't heard anything outside of that. I don't want to see again. I don't want to see Ryan Tannehill.
Ryan Tannehill did not practice today, so I imagine he will not play.
Oh, this is about to be a Derrick Henry game. I'm still taking Tennessee.
They shopping him too, by the way. They shopping him and DeAndre Hopkins.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so Ryan Tannehill did not practice today. He doesn't anticipate he's going to practice much before the game. I do not anticipate Ryan Tannehill is going to play in this game. Not that it matters. I think whoever the starting quarterback will be for the Tennessee Titans, yeah, give me Atlanta. I think they can do just enough on offense. I think Desmond Ridder limits his mistakes because this isn't a good defense in Tennessee either. Give me Atlanta. This is going to be a low-scoring game, though. You're probably right.
No, let me Tennessee.
Oh, man. The haters are out in full force today.
Ain't nothing to hate on.
I know, right? Hey, Bruce, talk to him.
Moving on from this game, we're going to stick between the battle between the NFC South and the AFC South. This time we got the New Orleans Saints and the Indianapolis Colts locking horns. Obviously, the Saints lost a heartbreaker against the Jacksonville Jaguars, and the Colts also lost a heartbreaker against the Cleveland Browns. Last time these two teams played was in December 16, 2019. TJ, do you remember who won that game?
Nope, don't care either.
Oh, Christian, you want to give it a go?
The Saints won that game, and Drew Brees only had one incompletion.
34-7, New Orleans Saints at home in the Bayou. But this game is in Lucas Oil, the house that Peyton Manning built. TJ, how do you think this one's going to shake out?
Two teams coming off heartbreak. Give me the Saints.
Christian.
I like the Colts in this one. There's nothing that makes me want to choose the Saints, especially with the inconsistencies on the offensive side of the ball. I think the Colts win this one by a field goal.
I haven't really. I know Gardner Minshew mania is real, and I almost had to buy a jersey because of it. But he was like outside of those two rushing touchdowns, like he had 3 fumbles. I mean, he's one of the reasons why they lost that game against the Cleveland Browns. I think I have a little more faith in Derek Carr, just a little, and I think the way they used Alvin Kamara so far this season, especially in the passing game, he's just been getting targets like crazy. I will take the Saints, but I don't feel good about it at all. From the NFC and AFC South, we get a swing into the AFC East, and we got the New England Patriots coming off destroying my survivor pick against the Buffalo Bills, going into South Beach, taking on the 5-2 Miami Dolphins, fresh off losing to the Philadelphia Eagles, on Sunday Night Football. And you know what? Yeah, I think Miami gets back, and if I was to still have a lock of the week and a survivor pick, this would be the game I would pick. I got Miami. I think they go up big against Buffalo. Give me the Dolphins. TJ.
Who this is again? Miami and who?
Patriots, Dolphins.
Oh, next game.
In South Beach.
Next game.
Christian.
Next game.
Mm-hmm.
Next game. Come on, man.
From this game, we got the battle for MetLife Stadium between the New York Jets and the New York Giants. The Jets are coming off their bye week. The Giants are coming off beating the Washington Commanders. I believe at home. I don't remember if they were at home or on the road. Not that it really matters. But these teams are 3-3 and 2-5. Last time these two teams played was August 26, 2023. The Jets won that game 32-24. I'm going to reluctantly take the Giants when it comes to this game. I think what I've seen from Tyrod Taylor, I think he'll play better at the quarterback position than Zach Wilson will in this game. Give me the Giants at quote-unquote at home.
Give me the Giants.
So you know what they're calling this game, right?
No.
This game is called the Snoopy Bowl.
Wow.
And they get a trophy. Shut up. Be respectful. And they get a trophy.
All I said was wow.
Yeah, I said what I said too.
It's
and they get a
Snoopy?
trophy. And they get a
Snoopy
trophy
Bowl.
with Snoopy on it because where they both play is at MetLife. I'm gonna agree with David. I'm taking the Giants. I trust Tyrod Taylor more than I do Zach Wilson.
That's unbiased. That's an unbiased pick if I've ever heard one.
Hey,
The New York,
TJ, I'm wearing a silk do rag.
the New York Giants lead this series, all-time series 8-6. The Giants have won the
Eight to
last two
six.
matchups all time.
8-6.
Yes, 8-6 all time.
They've only played each other. What's that math? 14 times.
Yeah.
I can't believe that.
Okay. I mean, back in the day, I mean, you only played teams outside in the other conference every 4 years.
No, this is like again. This is
14,
one of those.
14 times 4 is what? Math. Some.
I feel like if you're a big enough metropolitan and you got two teams, those two teams should play each other every year. Like that's just me though. That
Well,
yeah, real collegey, I know, but at the same time, like it, yeah, like the Rams and the Chargers have to play each other every year. These two teams have to play each other every year. But I'm going with the Jets on the simple fact that I think the defense for the Jets gets it home. I think they force some Tyrod Taylor turnovers unless Saquon Barkley just goes ham. Then give me the Jets.
from this matchup, we're going to swing into the AFC. We got the Jacksonville Jaguars at 5-2 going into Acrisure Stadium, the home of the Pittsburgh Steelers. They're fresh off beating the Los Angeles Rams. Jacksonville fresh off beating the New Orleans Saints on Thursday Night Football. Last time these two teams played, that's a preseason game. I will look it up. But Christian, how do you think this game's going to shake out? Jaguars, Steelers.
David.
Oh, baby, let's go.
David, let's go.
Shameless plug number
one, baby. Jacksonville's found their swagger. Like they're running the ball. Trevor Lawrence is taking care of the ball. And this defense. Now, I had a debate with somebody on social media the other day, and I said, Jacksonville. Someone said to me that Jacksonville has the best defense in the league because they force the most turnovers. Okay, that's cool and all, but when they're not forcing turnovers, then what? The Steelers, they're grinding games out. They play hard for Mike Tomlin. These two have a history, and Jacksonville always seems to punch the Steelers in the mouth. I just want to see, how the Steelers come out in this game. That was a game they had to grind out against the Rams, and then even the one against the Ravens a couple of weeks ago. I previewed this one on Friday. Be on the lookout for it.
Last time these two teams played was 11-20-2020. The Pittsburgh Steelers hung up 27 points against the Jacksonville Jaguars, but Ben Roethlisberger's not walking through that door. He has retired, and Kenny Pickett is now the starting quarterback of the Pittsburgh Steelers, and Trevor Lawrence is the starting quarterback for the Jacksonville Jaguars. I'm taking the Jaguars. I think their defense does just enough to limit this offense for Pittsburgh. I also think the Jacksonville Jaguars, they run the ball extremely efficiently in this game. Give me the Jaguars.
I don't think Pittsburgh has enough. Eventually the grinded out method fails. It comes up short because the other team is just too much. It's just too talented for you to overcome that. I think this is one of those situations unless Jacksonville quote unquote plays down to the competition. Like Kenny Pickett should not be able to match Trevor Lawrence throw for throw this game. I get it. TJ Watt has the power to totally disrupt this game plan for Jacksonville, but I think Jacksonville just has too much. Like the grinded out method, and they should have lost to. Well, I ain't gonna say they should have lost because I ain't gonna tell them what would have happened if the Rams got the ball back, but they got lucky with that one.
Moving on from that game, we got the battle in the AFC East, a rematch of earlier this season, one of the most entertaining games of the National Football League so far this year. We got the Philadelphia Eagles at 6-1, fresh off beating the Miami Dolphins on Sunday Night Football, going into Washington, the team that just fell to the New York Football Giants. They're 3-4. This game is in FedEx Field in Landover, Maryland. Christian, how do you see this game shaking out?
Philly has too much. You never know what Commanders team is going to show up. I like the Eagles to keep it moving. I think the Eagles now are gonna start to open things up. I know they struggled the first couple of weeks. Yeah, had a couple of bumps in a row against Miami on Sunday night, but I think they get it going here in this one on Sunday.
TJ.
I'm gonna go with Washington. They felt like they should have won the first one. You already know how divisional matchups go. This is one of those anything goes type games. Uh, and you got to keep an eye on Jonathan Allen. Like you can't say what you said this past Sunday and then come up short the week after. Like you gotta like that has to amount to something. So give me Washington in the close one.
Yeah, I'm taking the Philadelphia Eagles. I just think the Philadelphia has too much. And what Christian said, not to parrot it back, but I just think that I never know what Washington Commanders team I'm going to see when it comes to their offensive line, when it comes to their defense, when it comes to their offense. I just don't know what I'm going to get out of this team. I will take the Philadelphia Eagles, but I do think this game will be close. Those division matchups always seem to be. From this game, we got the battle between the number 1 and number 2 overall pick in the most recent draft, with the Houston Texans at 3-3, going into Carolina, taking on the Panthers at 0-6. I believe both these teams had a bye last week, so neither of them have played. Last time these two teams played was September 23rd, 2021. Carolina Panthers put up 24 points to Houston Texans 9 and won that game. TJ, how do you see this game shaking out between Bryce Young and CJ Stroud?
CJ Stroud. you already got rumblings in the in Panther land already. Like the coach wanted one guy, the GM wanted the other guy. This game is just gonna make matters that much worse, especially when CJ Stroud go out there and throw a party on them. It's just like it's gonna make matters so much worse.
Christian.
I like Houston. I don't think anything else really needs to be said. David, just pick Houston next game.
I'm taking Houston as well. I've not seen anything out of the Carolina Panthers that makes me think they can win any games of this rest of this season. Moving on to the late afternoon slate, we got the 4-2 Cleveland Browns coming off stealing that game from the Indianapolis Colts last week, going into Lumen Field, the home of the Seattle Seahawks, and they just beat the Arizona Cardinals. These teams are both 4-2. Last time these two teams played was basically 4 years ago. Seattle won that game 32-28. But Christian, how do you think the 2023 version shakes out?
David.
Oh,
David.
Man, I don't seem to find to ask you your opinion first on the games you're going to preview. That's some skill right there. But yeah, game was long. Number
2, baby. Yeah, Cleveland. They're grinding games out. This defense has been absolutely incredible this year under Jim Schwartz, and Myles Garrett is the best defensive player in the league. And I don't think that's really saying much because he's been showing it all year long. I'm still mad that he wanted to do that little basketball move at the line of scrimmage before he sacked the quarterback. He had to see me outside the locker room, TJ.
At this point, it's like, what you gonna do about it?
Yeah. You really gonna walk up on him?
He doing crossover moves. Like, hey, do something about it.
Yeah. And look, seeing him do that makes me want to get back on the field. But nah, I'm good. I'm good. I'm way too comfortable doing what I'm doing now. Way too comfortable. Seattle. What Seattle shows up? Because we gonna see the Seahawks that dominated the Giants on Monday night a couple of weeks ago, or are we going to see the ones that showed up against the Bengals?
Rams.
1 or 2 weeks ago?
Or against last week against the
Arizona Cardinals. They didn't look all that great.
I mean, that was not an impressive victory.
I preview this one tomorrow. Be on the lookout.
TJ.
I just just think back to the game against the Rams where Aaron Donald ran rough shot and you hear Geno Smith say, "Oh my God." And because Aaron Donald's just barreling down on him. So if he says, "Oh my God," when Aaron Donald is, in his face, what's he going to say when Myles Garrett gets to him? Like, because Myles Garrett is going to get to him. Like I want to pick Cleveland. I don't feel comfortable about it because I don't like what's going on with the QB situation. I mean,
Yeah,
TJ
no,
Watt.
I think Deshaun Watson will be the starting quarterback, but I have no way to confirm that. So
Like, I want to pick Cleveland. But, again, I don't feel good about it. Um, I'm gonna pick Cleveland, so give me Cleveland. But I would not be surprised at all if Seattle won this game.
you would not be surprised, but I'm taking the Seattle Seahawks. I think that Tyler Lockett and I think DK Metcalf does return in this game after missing his first game of his career. Shockingly enough, last week in that game against Arizona. I think the Seattle Seahawks have a big game. I think they push this defense a little bit. They got exposed a little bit against the Indianapolis Colts. And if PJ Walker is the starting quarterback again for this team, the Seattle Seahawks will win this game in big time fashion. Give me Seattle in a mini upset.
Okay.
From this game, we have there are only like a couple things that are guarantees in life: death and taxes. And Kansas City is going to beat Denver, but this game is in Mile High. They won the last 16 matchups in a row. Kansas City goes into Mile High, takes on the Denver Broncos. Denver fresh up winning their second game of the year against the Green Bay Packers. Obviously, last time these two playing was earlier this season. Kansas City won that game 19-8. Christian.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
All right, we'll just flat out. I'm taking Kansas City as well. Moving on from this game, the final the final game in the late afternoon window.
Love how he ain't even asked me. That's just hilarious.
I don't need to.
That's just
from this game, we got the battle of the birds, the 5-2 Baltimore Ravens coming off that shellacking of the Detroit Lions, going into Arizona, the big toaster, taking on the 1-6 Arizona Cardinals. They're fresh off losing to the Seattle Seahawks. Last time, that's a preseason game. I'll look it up. But fun fact, if you wanted to go to this game, let's say you happened to be in Glendale, Arizona, and you wanted to check out this game and go to it and check it out, do you know how much the cheapest ticket is for this game right now?
$10.
Not quite. You got to bust out another Abraham Lincoln and you get some change back. $14 if you want to go see Lamar Jackson in Arizona.
Damn.
Yeah.
Man,
Can you tell me if I was to fly to Arizona for this game, the most expensive thing would be the fucking plane ticket? That's sad. That is sad.
Yeah. And the last time these two teams played was September 15th, 2019, 4 years ago. Baltimore won that game 23-17. How do you see this game shaking out 4 years later?
Man, so Cincinnati and San Fran played.
Yeah, all right, fine. We'll move on. San Francisco and the San Francisco 49ers. Obviously, Cincinnati is coming off their bye week. San Francisco 49ers are coming off losing their second game in a row against the Minnesota Vikings. This game is in Levi Stadium. They're in Santa Clara, California. Last time these two teams played was December 12th, 2021. Christian, do you remember who won this game?
The day before my birthday. The 49ers won in overtime.
26-23. And how do you see this game shaking out for 2 years later?
Oh, David. Come on, David. Let's
Shameless plug number three,
baby. Look, Cincinnati's found their swagger. Defensively against Seattle, that was the best I've seen them look all year. And TJ and I say it all the time. Joe Burrow has looked more healthy. He's moving around. He's connecting on his passes. But I'd like to see Cincinnati run the football a little bit more. That's going to be tough against the 49ers because they're so stout when it comes to stopping the run. And they do so many other great things defensively. And the 49ers, I mean, they've been humbled these last 2 weeks. A healthy serving of humble pie. I preview this one on Thursday. Be on the lookout.
TJ.
Would this be the first time the 49ers lost 3 in a row in God knows how long? Could that happen?
And it'd be Brock Purdy's first loss at home in his career.
And it'd be Brock Purdy's first loss at home? Could this be the first 3-game losing streak in San Fran for, I don't know, what, 5? Like, it's been a long time since they lost 3 in a row. Christian, you said a lot. It makes a lot of sense. this 100% gonna be the game to really see where Cincinnati's at, especially Joe Burrow and that mobility. Because if he can't evade even just a little bit, it's gonna be a long day at the office. Jordan Addison went for what, 7 for 160 and 2 touchdowns,
Yep.
something like that.
Yeah.
Jamar Chase playing.
Yeah.
I'll just say this. Sorry to interrupt you,
Oh.
TJ. I'll just say this.
Yeah, give me the Bengals.
If Kirk
Yeah,
Cousins,
you're right. Give me the Bengals. You're right. You ain't got to
if
finish.
Kirk
Give me the
Cousins
Bengals.
went off
Give me the
on
Bengals.
San Francisco, what makes you think Joey B won't do it? That's all I'm gonna say.
San Fran at home. That's the only thing I can really, give me cause to pause. Like San Francisco's at home. That's it.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that's really the only thing I got as to why Joe Burrow wouldn't be able to have a game. Like San Fran's at home, and they punch Cincy in the mouth early. But we've seen that Joe Burrow get punched in the mouth and he just keeps coming back up. So yeah, give me Cincy.
Last time San Francisco 49ers lost 3 games in a row was 9/26/2021, where they lost to Green Bay, Seattle, Arizona, Indianapolis, and 4 in a row in that fashion. That was the last time they lost 3 games in a row. I did
2
not.
years ago.
2 years ago, yes. I do not think history will repeat itself here. I think that they get off the schneid. I think they beat the Cincinnati Bengals, but I do think this will be a rather high-scoring game, and I do think this will be a very competitive game, and it should be on prime time. But, whatever. Moving on.
Go ahead.
Moving on from this game, we got the Sunday Night Football. I actually almost went to this game, but I decided not to go to LA during Halloween weekend. But now we got the Chicago Bears going into beautiful SoFi Stadium, taking on the Los Angeles Chargers. Bears fresh off beating the Las Vegas Raiders, and Chargers fresh off losing to the Kansas City Chiefs. And Christian, do you remember what the result was the last time these two teams played, which was actually almost 4 years ago to the date, October 27, 2019?
The Chargers won that one.
They did. Do you remember the final score?
Nah, I can't remember what I ate for dinner. So,
the Chargers won that game 17-16. I did not remember how that shook out because I don't have that in front of me. But how do you see the 2023 version shaking out?
I'm going to take the Bears because there's nothing that the Chargers do that makes me gravitate to them. Like, their defense is hit or miss. There are weeks when they look good, but it's their offense that's getting in the way right now. I don't like Brandon Staley as a head coach. And look, I'm not saying there's a quarterback carousel in Chicago right now, but
I think the word you're looking for there is controversy.
Or controversy. Yeah.
Carousel.
I don't want to say it's a controversy necessarily, but it just seemed like things kind of flowed a little bit better with Tyson under center. I'm gonna take the Bears here.
TJ.
10-24, 23, and 8:41 p.m. Christian picked the Bears to win the game. Again, like I said yesterday, we don't have a QB controversy. We have a offensive coordinator controversy because he called a completely different game than he would have called had Fields been starting the other day. So this has been his biggest issue. Can you call games consistently the way they're meant to be called? Like, there's a big enough sample size of what works here in Chicago and what doesn't work. And for whatever reason, he loves to revert back to what doesn't work. This is not the defense, especially up front, that you want to throw a lot of bubble screens on. This is not that. The Chargers have one of the worst pass defenses in the league. They have one of the worst secondaries in the league. If DJ Moore don't go over 100 yards this game, I'm looking at Getsy way worse than what I already am. 100%. And Darnell Wright has proven that he can hold his own with some of the elite left ends in this game. So whether it's Khalil Mack or Joey Bosa, we in for a show. But give me the Bears. I'm being a homer. Give me the Bears. Brandon Staley's lost the locker room, by the way.
Oh, like that isn't the most homer pick.
I'm a Chicago Bears fan, but I think the Los Angeles Chargers are going to be desperate in this game. I think they have to win this game. I'm taking the Chargers.
Brandon Staley's lost the locker room. If they lose this game, hey, I would not be surprised at all if Brandon Staley gets some walking papers.
I agree with you on that. I think if they do lose this game, I think he'll get fired. From this game, we got Monday Night Football, and we got the Detroit Lions hosting Monday Night Football. I think it's the first time they've hosted a Monday Night Football game since like 2019 or something like that.
2018, 5 years.
Yeah, 2018. Yeah, they said something on the broadcast last night. But yeah, we got the Las Vegas Raiders, fresh off losing to the Chicago Bears, going into Ford Field, taking on the 5-2 Detroit Lions, who got fresh off getting shellacked by the Baltimore Ravens. Last time these two teams played, November 3rd, 2019. Christian, do you remember who won that game?
I want to say the Lions won that game.
That would be incorrect.
Okay.
Las Vegas Raiders won that game 31-24 on a go-ahead touchdown late in the game. But how do you see this 2023 version shaking out?
The Lions bounce back. They're going to come in pissed off, angry, and what the Ravens did to them, that's what I could see them doing to the Raiders.
I'm also taking the Detroit Lions. I think this is going to be one of those get-right games for this team. Give me the Detroit Lions.
I really don't think it matters who quarterback for the Ravens. I really don't. They oh, let's hope Jimmy G's back. For what? For what, man? For what? Yeah, hey, Christian, how's that proven winner working out for him?
Yeah, right.
Hey.
Proven winner working out for him. Yeah, I expect Detroit to bounce back. First Monday night game in 5 years. Also, again, you got embarrassed. Like, how do you bounce back off of getting your ass kicked?
I mean, he didn't score a touchdown until the game was long over.
And like it was meaning, like you were probably better served not scoring the touchdown.
I mean, I guess it really doesn't matter. Big picture.
No, it doesn't matter. Big picture, it didn't matter. Like you probably better off not scoring.
I mean, I guess. I mean, for team morale, it had to feel good to at least punch one in the end zone.
Hey, we passed more. Hey, this is not the moral victory game, bro. Like, hey, we got our ass kicked, but we scored. Like,
yeah,
yo,
fair. But yeah, thank you very much for checking us out here at Prime Sports World. This has been our Week 7 Monday Night Football recap and Week 8 preview and predictions. Thank you very much for checking us out. Please like, share, and subscribe to the podcast. My name is David Huffman right there. My co-host, TJ Hopkins. And from the Daily Blitz.blog, Christian Simpson. Gentlemen, what do we do here at the Prime, my friends?
We bring the heat.
At 27, 13, and 11. That's what Nikola Jokic is doing right now. In the first game of the season on
so it's barbecue. It's barbecue unibrow. Okay.
Barbecue. Hey, 27, 13, and 11. Anthony Davis has not scored in the second half.
But, we'll be breaking down the NBA on Saturday. You don't want to miss that content. We're also going to be doing Fantasy Football Weekly tomorrow. You don't want to miss that content either. I've been David Huffman. You guys all have a good night. Stay safe out there. Peace out.